Royalty not explicitly claimed, but enacted. The laughter of the suits pushed through the walls of their private room into the dining area where patrons checked back and scowled. Rounds of drinks turned gentleman chuckles into real laughs, into guffaws, into full-fledged howls that rendered vain the partition between royals and commoners. Heads flushed and sweaty like tomatoes, each suit grew more indistinguishable. "You got a new pet," Gordon said, solely sober. "Oh, Lord," a suit broke in. "Environmental violation, now animal abuse." "Please tell me it's a cat," another said. "At least a cat can feed itself. Plus, sure could use some pest control." "Gotta be a fat cat." Another round of laughs and another round of drinks. A haze floated off their circle of bodies flourishing around the lights. Gordon smirked and drank his soda with each interruption, but he never laughed with them. He kept his tan in the midst of the plumping tomato heads. All right, not a cat. Gord, go ahead. What is it?" "A cockroach," he muttered. A chorus of groans and chortles. "Didn't know the state had cockroaches. 'Cause they're all at the slime house." "Gord, you're kidding." "I'm not," Gordon said. "Crawled right on my Sperry's." With progressive rounds, the diner emptied and refilled less until the final patrons went out to the dark streets, and the staff began to clean and clock out. Their waiter came in, his face sullen. Gordon went beside him and slipped a pair of hundreds before they could be dismissed. The waiter hesitated, then left and returned with another tray of drinks. "When you leave, how's the taste in your mouth?" the suit asked. "Not great," Gordon said. "All those fumes, ought to be careful. Get years knocked from your life." "Bought the shoes, right?" "Your whole wardrobe." "Hazmat suit, Gord. Invest." "Or just stop going. Why torture yourself?" Gordon shrugged, and the suits laughed on. He got up and went out to the hall, the rear exit to his right, and the dark, empty room opposite. Through a set of double doors just down from the suite, the young waiter stood alone in the faint light of the kitchen, his arms crossed and face pouty. Gordon held up another pair of bills and smiled at the kid, who rolled his eyes and took them. "We're close," Gordon said. "More schnapps," he grumbled. "Just some champagne to finish. I have my limits too." Gordon filled his cup at the soda fountain, while the waiter went over to a large fridge and pulled a bottle out. "I've got it," Gordon said. "We're all set." He took the champagne and lifted his glass at the waiter, then went back to the suits, laughter exploding through the open door. "Oh, Gord, we've realized your little friend's dilemma," the suit said. "The tailor's tailor. I guess she cleans homes." "You know what she does," Gordon said. "Nah, explains it. If the maid cleans everyone else's house, who cleans the maid's house?" "Right? A day rubbing caviar on his fancy dishes, the five-star chef goes home and rubs peanut butter and jelly on his sandwich." Leaned back with their guts up, they eased out on champagne, and their faces dropped from loopy and red to groggy and pink. Only Gordon sat forward, face blithe, his elbows on the table, and sipping his soda. "I have kids, right?" Gordon's smile dropped. "Jesus, please say no, Gord. Environment, animals, humans. Slimehouse violates the whole goddamn world." "They have one," Gordon grumbled. The suits groaned and laughed, but Gordon stared at the table and let the jokes and howls whiff past him. "It's nothing to laugh about, really," the suit said. "Doomed from the start. Really is. If it's a mini version of her, it deserves it. If it weren't growing up in poverty, it'd slunk back to it. Nowhere else to go." Gordon drank and grimaced, uncarbonated dark caramely liquid in his glass. He took another drink but spat it back in, then stood, grabbed the champagne bottle, and chugged it. He flipped through his wallet and threw a wad of cash on the table. "Finish up and fuck off," he said. "Poor kid's exhausted." "No, sit down, Gord. You're paying him. Come on, buddy." He left the suite, through the hall and out the back exit. Stiff air and the whooshes and honks of the freeway greeted him. He walked in the night between the back of the buildings of the Strip and along a chain-link fence guarding the traffic. An old man in rags sat in the grass on the other side, hunched over and puffing a cigarette. His wild eyes met Gordon's. "Cash," he croaked. Gordon stopped and studied him. "How about a 10th?" he replied. Of what? Your preference? Okay, crystal. Is that what you wanted the cash for? The old man chewed his gums so his chin and cheeks shrunk in malevolence. You got it or not? He spat. No. Go fuck yourself then. Gordon continued on to the end of the strip and around to the parking lot. Coming out of the diner, the suits laughed and clambered into their sports cars, revving and shouting to each other from their windows. Each peeled out, and Gordon went towards his own red convertible. A waiter came out of the restaurant and locked it. He looked at Gordon's car, then him, and glared as he got in his own beat-up sedan. Up into the hills through multiple gate codes to the top of the cul-de-sac with 3 private roads leading to enormous estates, Gordon's taking the neighborhood apex. He pulled up to the gate beside a pillar with a keypad and clock, 1:03 a.m. He pushed the call button. Gordon's, came a tired voice. It's me. The gate swung open, and Gordon revved up the driveway to the round lot in front of his stone box and towers. Stairs led to large glossy wooded double doors. At the bottom of the steps, a guard stood with his hands behind his back. Gordon stopped in front of him and got out and tossed him the keys. Evening, sir. Jimmy? Is the code not working, sir? I don't know. Gordon went past, climbed the stairs, and into the mansion. An echo of the shut door sprang from behind him out through the atrium. Lightless, spotless, barren. A building with its creases strictly where Gordon stepped. He slipped off his shoes and went up the adjacent stairway, each foot down on the imprints left in the carpet. Once up and into the bedroom, just at the top, closed the door and could not hear this echo, all masterless again. It was small and plain, with one window and a conjoined bathroom, nothing but a twin bed and a nightstand. Gordon opened the drawer, pulled out a small picture frame. He laid down, held it on his chest, and stroked the glass. Beginning of the same work week, the day of the cockroach, Gordon left his hill and drove across town to an apartment complex. He pulled into the lot beside a blue Volkswagen with a crack in the windshield, otherwise well maintained. A moment staring at the car and the shabby building from his Porsche, he then got out and walked to the ground level door. Infant cries came muffled from inside. Gordon knocked, and a young woman opened the door carrying the screaming baby. She grinned, a lined but beautiful face, wearing wet spotted overalls, humble but fashionable. You're alone? Gordon asked. Kind of, she chuckled, a nod to the baby. She led him inside to a living room cramped with a wraparound, a large TV set on a broad dresser, and toys and clothes gathered into piles by the wall. The screams faded down the hall until she brought the baby into a different room. Gordon stood in front of the couch, observing the dresser, an antique with a middle door marked with 2 rows of circles connected with lines top to bottom and side to side. Kitchen adjacent, fumes of chili and beef emanated over the counter to Gordon's pleased face. He slipped off his suit and flung it over the back of the couch and sank in. Sorry about that, she said upon return. Forgot you were coming. Ouch. I forget if anyone's coming, even my husband, his. Gordon blushed and pretended to look around the living room. Please ignore the disaster, she said. You always say that. Ouch. Bird screams reached from down the hall. There's some birth control, she said. A combination of regret and gratitude like a mother's. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Do others not? It's a bit taboo, but so is not saying motherhood is your whole purpose. Suggesting you're trapped is like holding a knife to your baby's throat. You're not trapped. The crying stopped. She gazed down the hall and reached over and gripped Gordon's hand. He gripped back, and the two sat there with only this and silence. For over an hour, they kept frozen, hands locked and shoulders rested against each other. When the crying came back, both slipped out of hypnosis, and she looked down and screamed. A cockroach sat on Gordon's shoe. He shook it off, and they stood and laughed. Oh God, I'm so sorry, she said. The apartment's pest guys are late. Not a new pet? She smirked and went down the hall. Gordon hesitated, but followed when the cries stopped. Standing at the doorway to the nursery, he watched her sway with the baby and caress and whisper, Want to hold her? I don't know. She turned and walked to him, her face suddenly stiff, and bounced the baby just away from her chest. Gordon took her and swayed with her, gazing down to the face. Back at the week's end, lying in bed with the frame on his chest and the sun coming up, Gordon brushed his finger along the cheek of the baby in the picture, he and her mom smiling together with the child between them.